Major game releases just don't stop coming this year. Not to mention, the last few months of every year is known to bring even more. We've already covered a few top 10s, but as always, if you're looking for something new to play, here's 20 brand new games to pick up and play right now. So first things first, this has actually been a long time coming already, although not that well received, but definitely an honorable mention. Number one, we have obviously Warhammer 40k Warpforge, or the mobile version of it. Now, working with crossplay on PCs as well. It's a card-based strategy in free-to-play, pretty much like Hearthstone, with collectibles, and lets you choose over 6 different factions as digital cards to collect and battle in pretty fast-paced battles. This game's about 600 megabytes in total and plays only online. Coming up behind that, we've got the exact opposite of the first game, a very well received adventure and probably the best go-op game ever released on mobiles. Well, the only downside of it though is that this game is rather short. It's almost a demo in fill. Maybe there's a full version of it somewhere in the making, but until then, Go-Op over here is legitimately the most fun to play game in the list today. It's an open world style, got comedy, lots of obstacles and challenges, and all that for just a whopping 1 GB of storage. Rated a 5 out of 5, although downloaded just 1,000 times on the Play Store alone at number 3, we've got Battle of Guardians. Here's a arcade-style fighting game, a first work of its developers, it's important, and so far doing a really decent job as it is. I mean, it's 100 megabytes in total, plays offline if you prefer it, has online PvP for sure, and it's on its way to the App Store by the end of the month as well. That's all we know. Number 4, a quick mention with this one though, I don't really think I need to insist it's that good of a game. Turbo Tornado over here is a pretty decent substitute for Corix games if you've been playing all of them. This is an open world midnight drive and racing sim. It plays offline and is even bigger in scale compared to Need for Speed Online. It's got a small map for sure, but for a mobile game, a really decent one. Love the graphics myself, lots of cars to choose from, and manageable controls. Not that perfect. If you're looking for a racing or drifting sim, it's a pretty good recommendation. Number 5, guys, from old school mobile game veterans over here, these people have been creating nothing but gold in replay, although their games are rather low in graphics. However, number 5, we have something called Old School, and this one is probably the definition of we got Batman at home. It's almost a perfect clone off of the Rockstar's Bully made with just less details. Great game. It's an open world school bully live sim adventure. About 200 megabytes in total and playable even offline. Coming from the same developers of the famous State of Survival, at number 6, we've got Project Entropy. Project Entropy has actually been around for a few months, a few good months, but only this week it went global and no longer it's an exclusive. It now plays just the same on the App Store and PCs, and I haven't so far heard of a bug, although it does get laggy. It's a city building strategy RPG kind of inspired by the StarCraft games, which is less real-time stuff and takes down about 1 GB of storage. Sitting on the Google Play through pre-registration. At number 7, we have Sky Defense, an action shooter, as you can guess, or rather tower defense style, World War-based shooter, as its developers first worked to. You can play this one even offline, but just keep in mind, if you couldn't reach the download section, you have to use a VPN, because the game is now globally available for everyone. It's in English though, nothing to worry, really engaging, really fast-paced, quite addicting if you like this type of stuff. Stellar Wind, I was also on my previous video, but literally at the end of it, usually a few of you get that far. I mean, I highly doubt any of you have even saw this thing, but you definitely should if you are into MMO space war games. This is an action strategy shooter that plays offline and offers really good designs both in ships and game world. For a mobile game the size of 200 megabytes, it offers a world of content. It has autoplay and real-time actions, and for some reason it's a free-to-play and an offline game too. I don't get it. So I finally tried this one. If you haven't already, Titanite is indeed an action third and first person shooter in the same style of Earth Revival. This is legit in-game footage. I mean, the game has really nice mechanics and has a lot of potential. You can only play this one on Android though, it's out there on the Play Store only, touted as a survival, build and craft shooter, and it's an online game in nature. There's just one downside, the game takes you a whopping 2.5 gigabytes of storage. That's the only one. Fresh out the oven, this actually came out earlier, just a few hours ago. I had to include it over here. Number 10, we've got Star Sky. This game actually has been a premium for almost a month now, but out for free to try and find out in its beta to see if it's even worth on the Google Play alone. It might not be a fair thing to say, but it's almost a mobile equivalent of Starfield that was released on PCs a month ago and it's rated a 5 out of 5, although it's just downloaded over 1,000 times. It's an exploration-based survival and shooter. So yes, you probably heard this one too, or even have been waiting for a few months for it. Blood Strike just went online globally and it's sitting on both the Google and the App Store again just fine. It's official, the game's decent, and the reception's been great so far, rated a 5 out of 5 and pre-registered over 1 million times since just days ago. If you're new to it, however, it's one of the most frantic battle royale shooters on mobiles since almost forever. Number 12.